Did they try to get onto the river? A weird van to be down here at the river. And if I find someone in there, oh, there's yellow tape on it.
Thanks for being part of Operation Canada, a forum where we can all contribute in our own small way to bringing Canadians together so we can support one another, progress reconciliation, and develop a country that's a little bit more independent and resilient.
Hey there, Operation Canada. Today's podcast is going to be snowshoeing in Canada. So if you're not familiar with snowshoes, the ones I'm going to be wearing today on the trail are these GV, I forget what company it is, but Cat Trail. These are a lightweight snowshoe. You can see how there's a curve in the back. That's meant to kind of reduce the amount of snow that it digs up or carries. It also takes a little bit of weight off the snowshoe. It's got the claws on the bottom and then binding straps like you might see on snowboard. So very lightweight, not meant for a lot of gear, kind of an urban style. These ones here, these are the Tubbs Journey. These you can see would look like the more typical snowshoe. They definitely are for carrying a backpack with weight. So if you're going to go out into the mountains or a trail with a backpack and gear, this is the kind of style you would want. But regardless of the type of snowshoe that you have or can afford, just get a pair if you can find some. Thrifting, you'll find them. Consignment shops with stores. Grab a pair and give it a try. It's a great winter sport. My wife, Naomi, bought me a pair of snowshoes. I don't know when it was, over 10 years ago. And I use them quite a bit to just go around the neighborhood. We have a big park by our house. So I used to take the dog for a walk in the dog park through the bush. And it was always a good form of exercise. And did a little bit in some areas outside of Edmonton where there's a little bit more hills, deeper snow, out in the river valley too. But I had given it up for quite a while, mostly because I found getting older, I don't know if it was just depression or anxiety or older age, but definitely going out in the cold to do activity was not enjoyable for a while. But it's super healthy, and I enjoy it more than going to a gym or the YMCA, because you're not going to get this in a gym. And I get quite bored quickly with the same routine, especially if it has to do with treadmill or Peloton or any kind of running. This is definitely more enjoyable. So, and I know there's a lot of people in Canada that do regular winter outdoor activity, including biking. And regardless of where you're from, what you do, it's important to get to sunshine in the morning, especially in winter when it's so dark, because it's going to give you that boost of vitamin D and light that you're not going to get driving to work in the morning and sitting in an office all day. And you're not going to get the same amount taking just vitamin D pills. There's got to be light in your health routine. Now, I have no idea if this will be a regular thing, but I'm going to try and get out on a snowshoe this winter more than once, but we'll see how that goes. And if I can get out to other areas, even better. And we're lucky in Edmonton. Let's see what's down here. Because we have the river valley. And there's a lot to explore that is only, 10-minute drive away. So we're lucky in that regard. I don't think I'm going down there. Maybe in my younger days, I would have had the lack of brain to do that. But as I'm older, I kind of know better. So I think, whether it's ice fishing, skating, even snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, running, biking, it's important for our mental health. And it's also tough, though, because I know a lot of government workers, people that work in offices, the Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, doesn't provide a lot of options, especially with, the corporate attitude of being in your seat, in your cubicle at your desk means productivity. But I've always argued that productivity is created through innovation, flexibility, pivoting, finding a workflow that is optimized. And people can't do that in an office where they're expected to be there 9 to 5. So I was going to see if I could find the skating rink out here, but we'll see. And that's, for me personally, after working at the government for 12 years in a corporate desk job at General Electric, that's why I decided to start a business as a way to hopefully improve my lifestyle to be more healthy, more flexible. But definitely not having a steady paycheck brings a different kind of stress. For me, kind of the fluctuations of income and contracts is more manageable than, dealing with managers that are just in an organization to finish their career, not take risks, who aren't creative, who focus solely on performance in terms of bottom line, outputs, whatever those measures or targets are, there's got to be more to it than that. So that's what we're trying to develop at Hazardscape. And I try to promote to the team flexibility. If you're not going to be in the office for the morning, give me a heads up just so I know where you are. But if you need to go to the gym or do whatever, because it feels better to do on a Wednesday, and we don't have any meetings or competing priorities, then take that time, because I know they'll make it up. And that was how I always tried to treat my staff everywhere I was, within reason, because there are some people, you give them an inch and they want the whole ruler. So this is the North Saskatchewan River. It's probably fairly frozen, but As an emergency manager, I know better not to go out there without testing the ice, or even on a river. It's been cold, but not that cold for that long. So, but we'll see here. Interesting, there's a van down here that's obviously been here for a while. A weird van to be down here at the river. So we're gonna check this out, because that's very odd. And if I find someone in there, oh, there's yellow tape on it. It must have broke down. What the heck is it doing here? Stolen? Oh, police line. Okay, well, obviously, probably not positive. Like, did they try to get onto the river? That's crazy. Oh, this is the boat launch. But anyway, yeah, trying to achieve productivity combined with positive lifestyle is something I'm focused on. But it's hard to convince people that it's okay, because I think they've just been brought up in a system. Let's try this. If you're not working at your desk, then you're not working. And working includes thinking about problems outside of the office, because that's where the best thinking can happen. So you have to get out of your desk to think about problems in an environment like this, because it's kind of the opposite of using AI to try to generate anything. This is far more powerful. And I know, like Parks Canada or the government of Canada or something, they developed like a right to be outside or something, or a right, they kind of like forestry for health, like being outside for health campaign. So that would be good to see organizations adopt in their HR policies for benefits. Whew. All right, we're coming out to the road here. Oh, we did a full circle. Not bad. Maybe doing this kind of video logging or podcasting will make it a little bit more, hold me a little bit more accountable to do what I'm going to say that I'm doing, because I get distracted easy due to my curious brain. But yeah, and if you've never done this before, gone out for a winter activity, make sure that you layer up. If you have a high output activity or even moderate, you don't need a lot of gear on, because you're going to stay warm. And if you get overheated, then that could actually cause a problem, because you're going to start sweating, and sweat causes water, obviously, and can cause hypothermia to a degree. So dress in layers. You know, don't put on the 40-degree winter boots, the minus 40 pants, snow pants, Arctic polar jacket in Edmonton at minus 20 if you're doing exercise. Keep it to, like right now, I got a pair of hiking boots on with my skiing socks, downhill ski socks, pair of smart wool long underwear, just a pair of hiking pants, no insulation, just a long sleeve underneath with this North Face jacket that's probably good for about minus 20 on a normal day, mitts with no gloves inside, and a toque. And I'm warm. So you don't need a lot of crazy gear to get out and enjoy the winter, especially if you're new to Canada. And if you haven't been exposed to this kind of weather, you just want to stay dry. You want to stay warm. If you start to feel cold, just increase your pace a little bit and you'll warm up. If you do go out, try to make sure someone knows where you're going. Keep your wallet on you, just in case something happens and someone finds you and they need your ID. And as I learned in search and rescue, if you get lost, all you need to do is hug a tree and stay where you are. Because if you've told people you're going out and you've told them when they expect you back and you don't return, they can contact the police or search and rescue, however it works in your jurisdiction. They will go to where you said you're going to be. If you've driven there, they might find your car. If you go on a long trip, it's really a good idea to leave a plan in your car of where you expect to go, what route you're going to take, how long you're going to be gone, who you're with, what you're wearing, what equipment do you have. Because then searchers can immediately use that plan to, try to get to you faster. And the reason you hug a tree is because wandering around aimlessly can be more of a risk than staying where you are, blowing a whistle or yelling if you hear something. So, but the hardest part in all of this is knowing that you're lost, because not a lot of people like to admit that they're lost. So instead of admitting they're lost, they'll just keep wandering. But you got to get past that. Admit that you're lost, admit that you're in trouble. Stay where you are. And if you hear something, call or use a whistle for help. And if you're in the winter, use a Fox 40 whistle, because they don't have the bead inside, which can get wet from moisture and freeze up. So the Fox 40, interesting story about Fox 40 whistles. Apparently, the guy that invented them was trying to sell them to the NHL and wasn't getting any calls. So he went to the hotel or something of a all-star game or some game, blew the whistle up and down where the rest were sleeping, woke them all up, and that's how he started making sales. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. So, yeah, there's some tips on hiking in the winter, just to be a little bit more prepared. Definitely, if you're going to be packing food and water, like little water bottles, if it's got a small mouth on it, they'll freeze. So you want a water bottle with a large opening to drink from. And try and pack food that won't freeze. So like Cliff Bars, things like that. If they're in your car for a couple hours and minus 25, you're gonna hurt your teeth a little bit. But yeah, try and bring non-perishable food that doesn't doesn't freeze or rot. All right. I think that's pretty good. I at least found my vehicle. And yeah, thanks for watching.
If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe so others like you can find our forum. And if you have a show idea, leave a comment because it could be our next episode.